Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our JustNoMil. In today's episode, Sick and Tired, 38F, How to be Supportive of Depressed Spouse, 40M, while maintaining boundaries. Husband, 40M, gaslights me, 39F. Spouse 40M disrespectful to 39F on anniversary. How to respond. MIL triangulation. My 6-year-old just called me saying MIL is arguing with my husband at their house. MIL comments about my weight/lacks emotional intelligence. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Sick and Tired, 38F, How to be Supportive of Depressed Spouse, 40M, while maintaining boundaries. My spouse has had a difficult 2 years and has gotten progressively worse. 2 weeks ago was a low point. I made him a mental health appointment and told him he needed to go. I told our families. He finally got a diagnosis, has started meds, and plans to begin therapy. I am committed and love him as a person, but after the last outburst, I've hit my limit. I feel like I've been hit by a truck. He is so good at masking. So aside from those closest to us, the outside world has no idea. We have 2 kids, married 10 years, beautiful home, stable careers. But I am coming to the realization that I've experienced emotional abuse during the course of his depression. There have been cycles of anger, including name-calling, personal attacks, calling me a bad wife, mom, suggesting divorce. After the outbursts, he retreats and then comes back acting like nothing happened. Things are fine until it happens again. When I've tried to express my feelings, it escalates and I am left unheard and more hurt. I've learned to keep quiet and keep to myself. Since receiving the diagnosis, it feels like he has an excuse. He has tried to be kinder in the last week, but has not accepted responsibility. I'm hurt and it feels like I need to suck it up. I'm trying to give him space, take on the majority of childcare, housework so he can heal. I try to hold it together, but I am always on the verge of tears. I don't have an appetite. I am exhausted. I don't even want to focus on him anymore. I want to build myself back up. How do you be supportive to your struggling spouse but hold true to boundaries? What mental health supports do you have? Do you have a therapist you can talk to about what you have been going through? Is your spouse willing to see a counselor or mediator with you where you can speak your mind with a third party present? I'm not sure what boundaries you want to maintain. Can you talk more about that? Husband, 40M, gaslights me, 39F. My husband and I have been married for 12 years, together for 15. We have 2 kids and a picture-perfect life from the outside. He has been struggling with his mental health, and we have had a difficult year. While we are both working individually on ourselves in therapy, with medication, etc., he is still exhibiting some unhealthy behaviors, and I'm not sure what to do. I have suspected he has been gaslighting me and have confronted him in the past, which escalated matters. However, lately, he has admitted he gaslights me and approaches it so nonchalantly. For example, at dinner with friends, we were having a good night, enjoying drinks, and he whispered, "Enjoy your last Christmas with me." I asked him what he was talking about, and he said, "This is our last Christmas together," and then played it off like nothing happened. He was later upset I was distant with him, and I explained that what he said was hurtful, and he said, "I was just gaslighting you," and wanted me to act like all was well. I know better now and am setting boundaries, not giving into this, but I'm still stuck on how to navigate this behavior. It's like he says things just to mess with me, and then blames me when I don't want to be intimate, etc. It's unfair. How do I approach this? I've committed to making this work, but this behavior is so immature and off-putting. Technically, that's not gaslighting. Gaslighting is far more subtle than that and has you doubting your own sanity. What you are describing is asshole behavior. You are married to an asshole, one that is proud of it. My impression from this post is that he thinks being in therapy gives him some leeway because he's supposedly trying. If you give this man an inch, he'll take a mile. Set firm boundaries with him and stick to it. Good luck. You deserve better. He has no idea what gaslighting is. He's just being straight out cruel with you. You approach it by telling him that if he does not stop this behavior, which he is clearly proud of for some weird reason, does he have a personality disorder? This will be his last Christmas with you. Don't put up with this because you don't deserve this. A truly loving partner wouldn't act like this ever. He may be, supposedly, working on his issues, but it doesn't mean he gets to be an asshole towards you like this. You need to decide if this is the type of marriage and life you want, or if you'd be happier not dealing with his bullshit behavior anymore. If you decide you've had enough, remember that it'll be because of him, not you. Spouse 40M disrespectful to 39F on anniversary. How to respond. Today is our 12th wedding anniversary. I should preface that the past 2 years have been rough. My husband has depression and has a history of taking things out on me. However, things have been great the past 3 months. Felt back to normal. Fast forward to today. He woke up frowning. He was withdrawn and sitting by himself outside. I asked him why. He ignored me. Our family hopped in the car, and he looked miserable. I tried to playfully ask what was going on, and he responded, "The anniversary of being married to you makes me depressed." I got quiet. He acted like nothing happened. Kids were in the car, so I didn't push it. We went to lunch and continued acting cold towards me. He told our kids, "I'm so lucky I have you too." Ignored me. I asked again what was going on. What changed in the last day that he's acting this way? He said that I was being annoying. I excused myself to the restroom and cried. 1. Because my feelings are hurt, and 2. I'm so unsettled that he's going back into a depressive state. When I returned, I was quiet. He called me an ice princess under his breath. I explained I didn't want to fake happy and that his words hurt my feelings. He said something about not playing my narcissistic games and continued to have a meal like nothing happened. So much for a happy anniversary. Friends and family are sending well wishes, and it's like pouring salt in the wound. How do I respond to this? Why are you still in this relationship? I would respond by leaving. No one treats me like that ever. He ignored you first. Sounds to me like he's the ice princess here. He didn't want to fake happy. Neither should you. If he hates the day he married you enough, I'd personally offer a day of ending the marriage. He made your anniversary about him. Sounds pretty narcissistic to me. Wanted to blame you after he started off pissy. Sounds like he started the games. I don't usually suggest divorce, but I don't see why bother with someone who darvos at every turn. MIL triangulation. My MIL comes across as sweet, innocent, wanting to help, but her methods, to me, are manipulative. Example: my niece has a dance recital. We have baseball playoffs the same day and can't commit. For weeks, MIL keeps commenting about the recital. She texts my husband to confirm with his brother. She randomly tells us what time it is. She asks my BIL if we are going. She called me saying that when someone invites you somewhere, you should go, and the recital is a very big deal. It's a non-issue. We spoke with our family. They know we can't commit. There's no obligation or hard feelings. But MIL won't stop. She continues to comment about how she will do both baseball and then go to the recital. My husband addressed her, and we stopped engaging in the topic. She texted, "I'm sorry if I intervened. I guess I'll zip my lips." We saw her since, and she was very quiet. Husband asked her what was up, and she goes, "I'm just a quiet person." It's like this with most things. She's never direct, but plays these little games. It triggers my anxiety. How do we set a boundary? Side note, my husband has depression. It's been a tough year. I have a surgery next week to remove cancerous cells. My son was just diagnosed with ADHD, and we are managing daily life on top of that. She knows all of this, but focuses on what SHE wants from us. When she said, "I guess I'll zip my lips," my response would have been, "Thank you." Exactly. Good. Glad you understand we aren't discussing this anymore. Every time she asks you, reply to both her and everybody else involved with something along the lines of, "We already told so that we couldn't commit because we have X going on and I thought everything was settled. Is that not the case so-and-so?" If she wants to triangulate, take that away from her and publicly call her on doing it. I actually love this, confronting her actions. When I spoke directly to my SIL and BIL, they had no idea why MIL was even involved. It was such a non-issue to everyone but her. I would tell her straight out, the only person this seems to upset, MIL, is you. BIL's family, including niece, understand why we won't be there, and everyone is fine with this. Why are you trying to cause havoc over it? No one is upset. Let it go. Sometimes they need to be told flat out. It shocks my mom sometimes to discover that my brother, SIL, and I talk to each other outside of her machinations. Might be a similar situation. My 6-year-old just called me saying MIL is arguing with my husband at their house. My kids and husband are visiting with my in-laws at the beach this weekend. It seemed to be going well, but my 6-year-old called me from my husband's phone saying that MIL is upstairs arguing with daddy and judging him. There have been 2 family events we missed due to our children's obligations and my husband dealing with a bout of depression. They have not let it go. They continue to remind us of what we should do and what they would do. The fact that my child called me from vacation to tell me his grandparents are arguing with my husband is annoying to me. Can he be difficult? Absolutely. Do I want my child witnessing this and trying to navigate why they are arguing? Absolutely not. My husband said that he tried his best to avoid conflict, but they refused to accept any POV other than their own. How would you approach this with MIL? I don't want a dialogue, but I want to make it clear that I'm not feeling okay with this. Doing his best to avoid conflict is to leave when they would not stop. Assuming he had the safe means to do so, yes. They're spending time with his parents, and his parents are using that quality family time to scold and berate him for not attending all the occasions you're summoned to? Your husband should pack up and leave with the kids immediately and tell his parents not to expect any of you at any family events for the foreseeable future, and that they need to get their heads around the fact that an invitation is not a fucking subpoena. And if he isn't on the road within the hour, you need to go pick up your kids. An invitation is not a subpoena. This is gold. There is a time and a place to have conversations. Doing this within earshot of our children is neither of those. We will be taking a step back until you can comply with that. Then follow through. That's the most important part. You don't approach your MIL because it won't do any good. The best thing you can do is make sure your children are not around your husband's parents without you. You have to protect your children because your husband isn't strong enough yet to do it himself. He should have taken the children and left as soon as it started. MIL comments about my weight/lacks emotional intelligence. MIL keeps commenting on my weight. I've lost 30 pounds over the past 8 months. I'm having health complications, cancer scare. I've also changed my diet to reduce inflammation. MIL is aware of this, but she keeps making comments like, well, whatever you're doing, keep it up. Wow, I guess you don't eat dessert now. And you look so much better in your face and stomach, less round. Husband has spoken to her numerous times about how it's rude to comment on people's bodies. She doesn't know what people are going through, and if she wants to give compliments to think of something besides appearances. She huffs and continues to do it, like we're ridiculous that it bothers us. I just had surgery. She stopped by to bring cookies and cake, which I'm not eating right now, and went on about how great I look. Lady, I've lost weight because I'm anxious. I've had 2 operations and am in a constant waiting to see if I have clear margins. I have a spouse that suffers from depression and 2 kids I have to hold it all together for, while keeping the house and working full-time. I've tried to be blunt and respond, stress has taken away my appetite. I've tried to open up, explain I've got a lot going on. She doesn't get it. She is so focused on the superficial. I know she brings treats and says these things to show she cares, so I'm trying to see it from that POV. But is it even worth trying to get her to understand, or do I just ignore this? Stress has taken away my appetite is not blunt. Try, say one more word about my appearance and I will ask you to leave. That's blunt. Then tell her to get out if she crosses this boundary. Your MIL is the epitome of tone deaf. Some women were raised to believe their whole self-worth is tied up in their body size and shape. Could be she's one of them and just can't see the world any other way. You could try asking her, "Wow, Mael, you keep bringing this up even though DH and I both told you how uncomfortable it makes me. I'm trying to understand why. Were you under a lot of pressure to be thin when you were a young mother?" If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.